Hear me. I know you're exhausted. I know you're in pain. You've been getting up every single day, putting everything you have into it, and it still doesn't feel like anything's happening. It feels like the pain just won't quit, right? But here's the thing. Pain is temporary. Sure, it hurts now, it burns now, it's uncomfortable now, but that pain ain't gonna last forever. You believe that it will, but it won't. I was on the verge of quitting every time, and that pain was telling me, just quit. You can't do this. It's too much. But that's where the trap comes in. Pain wants to crush your spirit before you shatter through your limits. You have to realize quitting may feel like relief now, but that relief is costly regret. When you quit, that follows you around. That's for life. You'll wake up months, years from now saying, what if I kept going another day? And I don't know about you, but I cannot live with that. I'd rather suffer the pain of struggle than the lifetime pain of quitting. You see, everyone wants the dream, but not the grind that goes along with it. Everyone wants to be successful until they experience the pain success entails. You want to be great. You want to be remembered. You want to create something that's significant. Then you have to be willing to hurt for it. The pain you're experiencing now, that's the cost of greatness. It's not punishment, it's preparation. It's constructing you. Every rep, every restless night, it's molding you into the person you were destined to be. And I know sometimes that hurt feels specific, like life has a bullseye on your back. You're thinking, why me? But what if it's not occurring to you? It's occurring for you. What if that hurt is the very thing getting you ready for the blessing that you prayed for? You prayed that you wanted to be strong, but strength arises only out of struggle. You prayed that you wanted to lead, but leaders are tempered in the fire. You can't bypass the process and then get the promise. Let me explain it to you. There's a story of a young athlete who worked out every single day for years, hoping to go pro. And then suddenly, one day, he tears his ACL, career over, right? Everyone counted him out, but he didn't quit. He took that pain and turned it into fuel. Rehabbed harder than anyone thought possible. Came back quicker, stronger, more focused. When people asked him how he did it, he said, that injury didn't end me. It woke me up. Watch, that's the difference. Champions let pain refine them, but most people allow pain to define them. You need to turn the story around in your head. You need to stop muttering, this hurts, and begin saying, this is building me. You need to stop fleeing from the pain and begin to grasp it. Because on the other side of that pain, that is where the version of you have been seeking dwells. That is where your greatness, your peace, your success awaits. So the next time you want to quit, I want you to tell yourself this. Pain is temporary, but quitting, that lasts forever. I want you to remember it every time you consider quitting, because 5 years from now, 10 years from now, the pain will not even be a memory, but the regret of quitting will still be in your ears. Don't quit. Don't stop. Don't let a momentary defeat ruin an eternal destiny. You've come too far to fold now. The hurt that you're feeling today will be the legs that you stand on tomorrow. So take a deep breath and get through it. Push through it. Cry through it if you must. But whatever you do, don't give up. Because pain is momentary, but quitting is forever. Listen to me. When life begins to punch you in the face, when every fiber of your being is begging you to quit, that's the precise time you need to pause and recall why you began. Because the reality is, many people don't quit because they're not strong enough. They quit because they forgot their motive. They forgot what ignited their soul in the very beginning. You didn't begin this journey just to give it up when it got hard. You began because something deep within you whispered, this is what I'm called to do. You recall that feeling, don't you? The passion, the excitement, the vision. You envisioned something that no one else did. You believed when they didn't. You had a purpose that woke you up before dawn. But along the way, the noise became overwhelming. Life became heavy. People began to speak. The grind began to suck the life out of you. And bit by bit, you lost sight of the fire that brought you here. You lost the why. Tell me something. Your why is all that matters. Your why is the fuel that makes you move when your body is exhausted and your brain is yelling at you to quit. Your why is what makes you work when the applause dies down, when the lights go out, when nobody is cheering for you. That's why I tell individuals constantly, if your why is not strong enough, your pain will destroy you. But if your why is strong, your pain will motivate you. So I want you to pause right here and reflect. What's your why? Who are you going through this for? Perhaps it's your family. Perhaps it's your children, your mama, that dream self that you envision every evening before bedtime. Perhaps it's the individuals who believed in you not, who told you that you couldn't make it. Whoever he is, hold on to that, because when the storm comes, when you're about to give up, that's the anchor that's going to keep you grounded. I remember when I was homeless, sleeping in derelict buildings. There were nights that I wanted to give up, nights that I felt nobody cared. But I had a why. I had something to fight for. I wasn't grinding just for me. I was hustling for anyone who had faith in me. I was hustling for the children who needed hope. I was hustling for my future. That's what helped me stay alive when I wanted to die to the struggle. And that's what you have to do. Return to your roots. Return to the hunger that it all began with. Return to the day you said, enough is enough. Return to the moment you made that vow to yourself that you would not give up until you made it. Because that hungry you, that is the true you. That is the one who believed before anyone else did. You know, the issue isn't that life became more difficult. It's that you lost sight of why you can't give up. You lost sight of who is waiting on you. You lost sight of the fact that each time you quit, someone else becomes stuck. There is someone watching you, waiting for you to succeed, because your success offers them permission to envision it is achievable for them as well. You are not merely fighting for yourself. You are fighting for everyone attached to your fate. So when that fear comes creeping in, when you think it's all collapsing around you, don't worry about how much further you have to go. Worry about why you began to start with. Because that same flame that burned in your belly all those years ago, it's still with you. It's just obscured by fatigue, frustration, and fear. But if you dig deep enough, it will return. When you recall your why, you reignite your purpose. You recall that this is greater than you, greater than the pain, greater than the struggle. You recall that giving up is not even on the table because your why is worth more than that. So today I'm saying to you, go back. Go back to your reason. Go back to your hunger. Go back to your why. Because the second you reconnect with it, you'll realize you were never constructed to quit. You were constructed to complete what you've begun. Listen to me. Achievement don't care about how you feel. It don't care whether you're exhausted. It don't care whether you're unhappy. It don't care whether it's raining, snowing, or in case your friend stood you up once more. Achievement doesn't budge because you feel. Success only reacts to one thing, commitment. You've been letting your moods dictate your life for way too long. I don't feel like it. I'm not in the mood. I'm too tired. You're constantly saying those words as if they're reasonable excuses. They're not. Because the truth is, if you only work when you feel like it, you'll never arrive where you're attempting to arrive. Winners, the actual ones, the ones you admire, they don't act on emotion. They act on commitment. You see, when you commit, you take away the ability to quit. When you commit, it doesn't matter what the weather is like outside. It doesn't matter what your feelings tell you. You do what you said you're going to do because you said you were going to do it. That's what makes ordinary people extraordinary. Most people are conditional. They put in effort only when it's easy. But champions put effort, and even when it's painful. I recall when I was grinding prior to anyone knowing my name. No cameras in sight, no followers to entertain, no audience to feed. Just me, the grind, and my mission. There were mornings when I did not want to get up. There were mornings when my body was yelling, stay in bed. But I had made a promise, and that promise was greater than my comfort. That's what some of you must know. You're pursuing success, but you're approaching it as a hobby. You claim to desire it, but you're only putting forth 50% on your worst days. Nah, commitment requires 100% every single day. Even on the days when you have nothing left in you, you still arrive. Because discipline will get you places that motivation never would. Motivation is fleeting. It disappears. It's that initial spark that gets you going. But commitment is the fire that sustains you. It's the one that burns well after the hype has worn off. Everyone's always asking, "E, why are you so fired up all the time?" I don't. Do you think I wake up every morning ready to tackle the day? No. But I had made a decision years ago that I was going to show up no matter what. I don't have to feel it. I just need to do it. Let me be honest with you. Your emotions are deceivers. They'll say quit when you're on the cusp of making that breakthrough. They'll say it's too difficult, too late, too distant. But your commitment, that's your reality. That's your vow. When you say, I'm all in, that means you get through regardless. Consider a marriage. The promises don't include, I will love you when I feel like it. They include, for better or for worse. That is commitment. That is what success requires. It's not about being present when things are easy. It's about remaining in it when every fiber within you wants to walk away. You can't construct greatness on emotional ground. You construct it on consistency, repetition, and sacrifice. You construct it when you don't feel like it. You construct it when no one is looking. You construct it when your feelings say, stop, but your purpose says, keep moving. So that's the truth. You don't have to be ready. You don't have to be motivated. You simply have to make quitting not an option any longer. When your determination is greater than your emotions, that's when the magic happens. So the next time you wake up and you don't want to grind, just remember, feelings come and go, but results never die. The dream doesn't give a F about your mood. The grind doesn't care about your excuses. It only pays off for those who remain focused. Commitment is what makes average elite. Commitment is what makes goals happen. So stop waiting to feel it. Be about it. Because success isn't about how you feel. It's about commitment. Period. Listen up. You're closer than you believe. I know it doesn't seem like it yet. I know you've been hustling for what feels like an eternity, putting in the work, being consistent, leaving everything on the field, and you're asking yourself, why hasn't it happened yet? You're exhausted, you're depleted, you're seeing your progress, and it's like you're a million miles from where you want to be. But listen to me, you're not as far away as you believe you are. You're closer than you've ever been. The majority of individuals give up at the point of destination. They give up digging when they are just inches from gold. They give up hoping when the blessing's about to release. That's the sorcery of life. We quit too early. We confuse the tension as an indication that it is over, when it's actually an indication that it is about to occur. That's how life operates. It tries you the most at the point of the breakthrough. You ever notice that? The closer you get, the more obstacles show up, the more resistance you feel. That's not coincidence. That's confirmation. The storm always rages hardest before the sky clears. You're being tested not because you're losing, but because you're next. The enemy wouldn't fight you this hard if you weren't close to something powerful. I've witnessed it 1,000 times. Individuals grind for years, then one day leave right when the door would have opened. They get up one phone call, one meeting, one opportunity too early. And I always remind them, you never know what day is the day everything shifts. What if tomorrow was the day it all worked out, but you gave up today? You see, success has this tendency to sneak up behind fatigue. You'll be at your weakest, your lowest, about to quit. And that's when it comes. It's like a final exam. Life's testing you to see how much you want it. Because everyone can keep going when it's easy. But not everyone can keep going when it's hard, when it doesn't seem to matter, when it doesn't seem possible. Let me share something personal with you. I was talking to empty rooms. Nobody was hearing me. No cameras, no stage lights, no clapping. Me and some people who took a chance on me. And there were nights I sat home thinking, maybe this is not for me. Maybe it's not going to work. But something inside of me said, keep at it. You're closer than you think. And you know what? If I had quit at that time, you would not even know my name today. That's what I'm attempting to convey. You can't see it yet, but the seeds you've planted are sprouting down below. Just because you don't notice improvement doesn't mean there's not improvement. Growth doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it's quiet, sometimes it's invisible, but it's taking place. The universe is working in your favor, but you've got to remain in position long enough to notice it occur. You're not laboring for nothing. all the late nights, all the sacrifices, all the energy you've invested, it's making something. You may not yet see the whole picture, but one day it'll all add up. You'll look back and you'll see that each delay, each disappointment, each detour was needed. It was preparing you for what's coming next. So I want you to dig deep. I want you to break past that breaking point. Because the truth is that breaking point. That's where you're transformed. That's where the magic occurs. Don't you dare quit now. Don't you dare walk away when you're this close. You've gone too far to give up halfway through. You've cried too hard. You've battled too many battles to quit now that the finish line is staring you in the face. You may not be able to see it, but it's there. And if you just keep pushing one more step, one more rep, one more day, you're going to march right into all that you've been praying for. So recall this, the hurt that you're feeling at the moment, it's not a call to quit. It's a sign that you're near. You're nearer than you know. Hold the line. Remain in the battle. Because your breakthrough is already arriving, and it's waiting for you to not quit before arriving. Listen to me. You owe this to yourself. You owe it to the version of you that did not give up. You owe it to the one who began when everyone didn't believe, who endured sleepless nights in agony, who wept in secret and still woke up the following morning prepared to hustle. You owe it to you. You've put too much into this to just leave now. You've spent too much of your time, your energy, your blood, your sweat, your tears. And you're going to tell me you're going to just throw all that away because it got tough. Nah, you can't do that. Not after all the things that have happened to you. Not after all the things you sacrificed. Not after all the times you said, one day I'm going to make it. You've gone too far to stop now. You've already paid too much to settle now. All the times you stayed awake while others were resting. All the times you plowed through fatigue. All the times you muttered, just one more try. That's an investment, and investments earn a payoff. You owe it to yourself to find out what happens when you don't give up. You know, everybody is always saying what they owe somebody else. I owe my parents, I owe my kids, I owe my coach. And it's true. But first, you owe yourself because you're the one who did the work. You're the one who arrived when nobody was looking. You're the one who battled through fear, rejection, self-doubt. You're the one who held on when everyone else was laughing. Let me keep it real. There were moments in my life I wanted to give up too. Moments where it seemed like all that I was doing was for nothing. But then I'd take a moment and think about that 17-year-old me, the one who was homeless, hungry, sleeping in empty buildings, but still having hope. I couldn't give up on him. He endured too much for me to give up now. I owed him to that child to see it through. And that's what you need to know. You're not only fighting for the person you currently are. You're fighting for each version of you that didn't give up. The one that went through heartbreak. The one that bore the losses. The one that was betrayed and still loved anyway. The one that continued to believe in something greater. You owe it to that person to see it through until the dream is a reality. You owe it to yourself to know what's on the other side of your grind. You owe it to yourself to know what happens when you don't give fear the win. You owe it to yourself to finally live the life you've been dreaming about in your head for years. Because if you stop now, you'll never know, and that's a hurt you can't survive. They ask me all the time, E.T., how do you keep going? And I say to them, because I promised myself, I said I would never go back. I said I would never waste my potential. And when you make a promise like that, it's no longer about motivation, it's about respect. Self-respect. When you give up on your goals, you're not giving up on the dream. You're giving up on you. And once you lose respect for yourself, it's difficult to get that back. So quit making promises to yourself that you can't keep. Quit saying to yourself, I'll do it again tomorrow. Quit talking to your dreams as if they don't count. You count. Your dream counts. Your purpose counts. And if no one else knows, that's okay. You know it. You believe it. You fight for it. This is your life. This is your time, and you owe it to yourself to give it everything you have before you walk away. You owe it to yourself to cross the finish line, to reach the top of the mountain, to look back at some point down the road and say, I did it. Because in the end, when it's all said and done, It's not about the applause, the praise, or the trophies. It's about the pride in knowing that you didn't give up on yourself. That's the prize. That's the triumph. So dig deep, fight on, and don't forget, you owe it to yourself. Listen to me. Grind is the only way out. No shortcut, no magic, no easy way out. Everyone desires the glory, but no one desires the grind. Everyone desires the dream, but they do not want to bleed for it. They desire success without sacrifice, but it doesn't come that way. The grind is the price you pay for greatness, and you cannot pay by IOU. They speak of overnight success as if it's a thing, but you know what an overnight success actually is. A decade of hustle that finally paid off. What you see on stage, what you see on the gram, that's just the highlight reel. What you don't see is the suffering, the self-doubt, the tears, the sleepless nights, the days they wanted to throw in the towel but didn't. That's the grind. That's the part nobody posts. See, the grind does not care about your feelings. It's cold. It's brutal. It takes everything from you, your time, your energy, your comfort. But the grind also rewards something. It rewards you with confidence, character, and strength that comfort will never be able to teach you. When you grind, you become someone different. You change. You quit making excuses and begin making results. Let me tell you, each time you go the easy way, you are cheating yourself. You are robbing your future self of backbone. Because the grind is not punishment, it's preparation. It's sculpting you into a person who can endure the burden of success. You want the crown, but can you wear the crown? Because that crown is heavy. That dream you're always praying for, it comes with stress. And if you ain't built yourself in the grind, you'll crumble under the blessing. I recall when I was giving speeches nobody was asking to hear. I wasn't getting paid. I wasn't getting known. Nothing. I was grinding for free. I'd talk anywhere, schools, gyms, prisons, church basements. Didn't care. I didn't have a name. I had a purpose. And grind was the only method I was aware of in order to get there. People stared at me as if I were insane. They told me, E.T., why are you working so extremely hard for nothing? But what they didn't know is I wasn't working for right now. I was grinding for the future me, and that's what you got to do. Cease to expect fruit from seeds you've recently planted. Cease to assume the grind is not working simply because the world is not yet aware of you. The grind is a process, and it is working even when it is quiet. You can't microwave greatness. You have to slow cook it in patience, consistency, and discipline. The grind doesn't create your dream. It creates you. It instills in you humility. It instills in you the ability to keep your head down and your heart up. It shows you how to stand alone when no one applauds, how to continue believing when no one sees what you see. The grind provides you backbone, and something easy will never provide. You can't pray for a great life and live a small effort. You can't speak of success as if it's yours by right. It's not yours by right. It's yours by work. Every repetition, every setback, every late night you decide to work rather than sleep. That's the down payment. The grind is the price sticker on your dream, and the only way to pay is through work. So when folks ask, what's the secret, E.T., I say to them, there isn't one. It's the grind. You get to work each day even when it hurts. You battle through the fatigue. You tune out the distractions. You outlast the excuses. Because the grind don't lie. It will always reward you with what you deserve, nothing more, nothing less. And listen, the grind isn't forever. It's just for a season. But that season sets the rest of your life in motion. You can suffer for a little while, or you can struggle forever wondering what could have been. The only way out of mediocrity, the only way out of pain, the only way out of where you are right now is through the grind. So stop searching for an escape. Stop waiting around for someone to save you. Stand up, tie up, and get back in the fight, because there's only one way out, and that's through the grind. Hear me out. You've got to stop letting your pain destroy you and start letting it make you stronger. You've got to take that pain and make it your power. Everyone has something. No one's immune to pain, loss, failure, or disappointment. But the distinction between those who recover and those who don't, it's what they do with that hurt. See, most people run from pain. They avoid it. They numb it. They hide it under distractions, under excuses, under fear. But you You're not like most people. You're built different. You've been through too much to waste your pain. You've cried too many tears for it not to mean something. You've suffered too much for it not to serve a purpose. You see, pain is life's best teacher. If you're willing to pay attention, it's not there to wreck you, it's there to make you. That ache you're feeling, it's molding you, stretching you, making you stronger in ways that comfort can't. Comfort may make you feel good, but pain makes you grow. I think back when I was down at my lowest low, homeless, hungry, sleeping in abandoned buildings. Folks stared at me like I was done, and I could have remained there bitter, shattered, blaming the world. But I chose otherwise. I was not going to let that hurt define me. I was going to let it make me better. That hurt turned into fuel. Each rejection, each no, each time someone told me I wouldn't succeed, that was energy. I didn't let it deplete me, I let it propel me. And that's what I'm working to get you to understand. Your pain has a purpose. You didn't experience all that for nothing. There's a reason you lived through what others didn't. There's a reason you're still standing when everything in your world tried to bring you down. That pain gave you something. It gave you perspective. It gave you empathy. It gave you fire. But here's the thing. Pain is only power when you choose to wield it. You can't get stuck in it. You can't let it define you. You can't wear your wounds as a badge of shame. You got to make them your testimony. Each scar that you bear, that's evidence you survived. That's strength. That's power. So when you wake up in the morning and that pain begins to whisper, you can't do it, you tell yourself, I've been through worse. You tell yourself, if I survive that, I can survive this. Because that pain that shattered you, it can be the same energy that constructs you if you reverse it. Each time you move past the pain, you become more powerful. Each time you move forward, even when it's painful, you become stronger. And once you know that pain no longer holds power over you, you no longer have fear of it, and you begin to use it. You begin to realize that each struggle has strength, each heartbreak has healing, each setback has a setup. You believe the pain was punishment, but it was preparation. It was life preparing you for the level you requested. Because giant dreams take giant endurance. If you desire the blessing, you have to be able to bear the burden that accompanies it. That's why life needed to harden you. That's why you had to walk through that pain, that heart attack, that solitary season. It was showing you how to become unbreakable. And now, take that pain and use it as your weapon. Let it feed your purpose. Let it motivate you to work harder. Let it remind you that you cannot be stopped. You already went through the fire, so stop pretending like you're delicate. You're tempered in strife. You're constructed from conflict. You're tougher than anything that attempted to break you. So don't waste your pain. Don't bury it. Don't hide from it. Use it. Use it to push you, to drive you, to elevate you. Turn it into a reason to win. Turn it into a message that inspires others. Turn it into a movement. Because when you know how to take pain and convert it into power, there is nothing, I mean nothing, that can bring you down. Listen to me. Quit complaining. Quit talking about how difficult it's all. Stop posting about how exhausted you are. Stop waiting for someone to feel sorry for you. Nobody's saving you. You make it happen or you don't. Life ain't interested in your complaining. It only reacts to your execution. You need to get something through your head. Complaining doesn't do anything for your circumstance, but execution does. Complaining about your issues may get you good for a little while, but action does all the work. You can either weep about it or grind through it, but not both. See, everyone wants to discuss what they desire. I want success. I want freedom. I want to be great. But when it comes time to do the work, when it comes time to deliver, they're nowhere to be found. They make a lot of noise, but they don't play tough. And that's why all the rest of us get stuck. We spend more time talking about the dream than we do pursuing it. Execution makes the difference between average and great. You can have it all the motivation, all the vision boards, all the affirmations, all the plans. But if you don't put it in motion, if you don't take action, none of that matters. I don't care how intelligent you are. I don't care how talented you are. If you don't execute, you lose. Period. When I began, no one knew I existed. I wasn't the loudest mouth in the room. I wasn't the most connected person. But do you know what I was? Unstoppable. I didn't complain. I followed through. When the door shut, I opened windows. When I had no money, I made do with what I had. I didn't spend time complaining about what I didn't have. I utilized what I did. That's the attitude you've got to have. Quit looking at what's lacking and begin leveraging what you've got in front of you. Quit waiting for ideal situations. Quit waiting for additional time, more money, more help. If you wait for ideal, you'll be waiting forever. Do with what you've got currently, and perfection will emerge through progress. You tell me you're exhausted, good, utilize it. You tell me you're stressed, use it. You tell me life ain't fair. That's all right. Life ain't fair to anyone. The distinction is some allow it to destroy them and some allow it to strengthen them. You choose which one you're going to be. You've got to stop believing your situation controls your destiny. Your hustle controls your destiny. Your persistence controls your destiny. Complaining is merely wasted effort. Effort that could have been used to execute. Every minute you waste bitching is a minute you could have spent moving you closer to your goal. I'll give it to you straight. No one is interested in your excuses. The world pays for results, not justifications. You can tell them why you didn't win, or you can go win, but you can't do both. You can just keep telling them what you're gonna do, or you can get busy doing it. Because talking doesn't pay bills. Talking doesn't change lives. Talking doesn't build legacy. Execution does. And here's the truth. Execution is not perfection. Execution is progress. Execution is showing up even when it's messy, even when it's frightening, even when it's sluggish. You don't wait for confidence. You build it through consistency. Every little step, every move forward, that's execution. You've got ideas that can change your life, maybe change the world, but ideas are meaningless without action. Stop holding your greatness inside your head. Get it out there. Write the book. Begin the business. Make the video. Launch the brand. Don't overthink it. Don't overplan it. Just begin. Because once you begin, momentum takes over. Then the next time you find yourself inclined to complain, take a moment and ask, what can I do about it right now? Because that's a winner's way of thinking. Winners don't complain. They make things happen. They don't gripe about what's broken. They repair it. They don't sit around waiting for opportunity to come knocking on their door. They create it with their own two hands. Do you want to be great? Then turn off the noise, muffle the excuses, and take action every single day. No breaks, no complaining, no way, just raw action. Because let's be honest, nobody remembers the complainer. They remember the doer. Listen to me. You can't have faith and fear at the same time. You got to choose one. Either you believe or you don't. Either you believe in the process or you allow fear to guide your feet. But you can't proceed if you're bound with fear. You can't pursue destiny if you're fleeing from doubt. Fear is also boisterous. It's the voice in your head that says you're not prepared, you're not qualified, you're not worthy. It's the whisper that says, what if I fail? And for far too many, that whisper turns into a concrete wall. Fear destroys more dreams than failure ever will. Because failure stings one time, fear stings forever. But faith is, even if I don't see it, I believe it's coming. Faith is, I don't know how, but I know who. Faith is, I might be scared, but I'm still gonna move. That's what divides the winners from the watchers. They don't let fear make decisions. They move by faith. You see, faith is not about knowing the end. It's about believing that every step, even the uncertain ones, are taking you somewhere on purpose. You're not meant to know everything. You're meant to believe. You're meant to walk even when you're in darkness, even when you don't have a map, even when the path seems impossible. Because faith doesn't require a view of the finish line to begin running. I recall when I first began speaking, no platform, no money, no followers. Just a message and a flame in my belly. Folks said it was not going to work. They said, E.T., you're wasting your time. But I believed. I didn't know when it was going to take place. I just knew it was. And that's what kept me motivated. Every time fear said, quit, faith cried out louder, keep going. You got to get something. Faith and fear both make you have to believe in something that hasn't yet occurred. Fear believes in failure. Faith believes in favor. Fear envisions the worst. Faith hopes for the best. The energy is the same, the direction is different. And whatever one you nurture, that's the one that grows. So don't keep fueling your fear with negative thoughts. Don't keep reliving all the what ifs in your head. Begin to fuel your faith. Talk life into your situation. Remember what you've already survived. You've survived things that were supposed to break you. That's evidence that you're made for more. That's evidence that faith works. And listen, belief doesn't say it's going to be simple. It doesn't say that you will never be afraid. Belief says that you move despite fear. It says that you get up when you don't feel prepared. It says you take the leap of faith and have faith that something bigger will catch you. You can't wait for the fear to dissipate. It's not leaving. But your faith can be greater than your fear. All great stories begin with someone who believed when it didn't add up. They didn't have the money, the people, the plan, but they believed. And that belief carried them through the fire, through the rejection, through the storm. Because when fear says, you can't, faith says, watch me. You may be standing in a location today where nothing seems to be working. The odds are against you. The door is not opening. And you're asking yourself, why me? But I want you to listen to me. Don't lose faith. Don't allow fear to talk you out of your destiny. Because sometimes God puts the blessing behind the battle to test if your faith is greater than your fear. Fear will tell you to stay safe. Faith will tell you to step forward. Fear will tell you to protect your comfort zone. Faith will tell you your comfort zone is killing your calling. Don't let fear rob you of what was meant for you. So the next time you start to feel fear creeping in, breathe in and remind yourself, you've come too far to question now. You've seen too much to lose faith. Swap what if I fail with what if I fly? Swap I can't, God can. Swap fear for faith because fear holds you back, but faith drives. You were designed to move mountains, not bow to them. So stop letting fear dictate your life. Step up in faith, have faith in the process, and see what happens when you finally have faith that everything you need is already within you. Undefine it, because the moment your faith is louder than your fear, that's the moment your life changes forever.